everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a full melodic future garage track from scratch. We're going to be talking about everything, the arrangement, every single element, all of that. As usual, you can get the full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It is the best future garage template on the market. I'm not kidding. I've heard almost all of them, and I promise you guys, I put the work in to make this something really, really high quality that'll take your tracks to the next level. Today, definitely don't miss out. Grab this. This is, like I said, a really, really good template for this style. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Every little bit helps, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 140 BPM. First thing we got up here is a bit of noise. We just have some vinyl noise with a high pass on it, and we have this atmospheric noise, which has a band pass, kind of like putting those together. And then we have the drums. Now, when you're making a track from scratch, like we're talking about, I really like to start with the drums and then the bass. Right? Like getting that groove good before you do all this other stuff. So, for these drums, it starts up here with kind of like these main three drums. Right, so we have those. Just like a nice, big, fat 909 style kick. A nice rim shot too, which has a low pass that comes on in the beginning on it. A nice punchy hi-hat. And then we have like a good garage kind of pattern happening with those, right? Then we have all the percussion. And you can hear that's where it gets crazy. But you have to start with the foundation of this. And you can see a lot of the arrangement of the drums really is happening with these. Like the way, you know, things will cut out and kind of come back like that, you know, that's... See what I mean? Like, it's just having that foundationally set up, and then all this percussion will just hit on top of it. So then we have all the percussion. As you can hear, you know, it's pretty full. So it starts with tambourine and hi-hat. We have all this percussion in this drum rack here being filtered and sidechained to the kick. Some foley. Which is chopped up. There's this. So it's a 606 actually, and it's this like kind of crazy pattern. It's actually pretty simple. Right? But then we're just compressing it. So it's very intense. We're distorting it. Even more distortion. High pass, low pass too, with a bunch of automation to kind of bring it in and out. And then we sidechain into the kick and to the snare. And you can hear what that does. We have this. Which in here kind of plays with the rim shot. And that is it for all that percussion. And then the last thing we have in the drums is just this ride cymbal. You know, it just comes in a few different times for the arrangement. You can hear it. On the drum group, all there is just a low pass filter for the intro. But you really don't need that much processing on the drums to keep them nice and punchy like this. Then we have the bass. So this is just following the chord progression. We're in the key of B minor here. We're going B, B minor, D major, G major, and then this E minor. So root note, minor third, sixth, and then fourth, right? But then you can hear we have this very like swingy kind of nice pattern. If I play it with, again, with like the kick and the rim shot, you can really hear how that fits in. So you can hear, yeah, just using the 808 for this and really like adding some rhythm and not just having like long notes, but having that dum dum dum. That goes a long way. And also these glides, right? And all you have to do that is you just set it like a note an octave up or an octave down and just have it like overlap a little bit. And then inside of the synth here, just turn this glide on and set the time. And then for the sound, all this is it's literally just an 808. There's not even any processing because it's just a good 808, which is really what you want to look for, right? Just like with the kicks and stuff like that. Just a really good 808 and letting it rock. And then we also have this break bass, which is playing the same MIDI, but obviously just one long note instead of like that whole pattern. This is just like a pretty standard kind of big fat respace. You know, we've got a saw wave, low pass filter like that, a bunch of unison, bass mono as well on the utility to make it kind of like a bit cleaner. And then we have all the synths. So it starts right here with this arp. So this is actually really simple musically. You know, for a lot of these things, you want it to be really simple because really it's like the bass line underneath it, which is going to be, you know, doing the chord progression. And so then this really simple arp can just work really well. All it is again, we're in the key of B minor, so we're doing minor third, ninth, root note. It's just like walking back down to that root note. And then what it's doing is it's going up and down an octave every 4 bars, so you kind of get something, you know, just a little bit more interesting and free moving. For the sound, it's made with operator, so it's this kind of like chaotic, detuned, metallic sounding arp. Right, it's just a bunch of sine waves, but with the envelopes kind of being plucky like that. And like I said, the fine tuning being set like that, you know, it's a bit more intense. We've also got a bit of echo, side chain to the kick, high pass. There's also a low pass, which just moves this around. As you can see, there's a lot of automation to keep this, you know, fresh as it goes through almost the whole track. And then we have the main pad. So this is following that same chord progression I showed you with the bass line, right? The B minor, D major, G major, E minor. And then what we're doing up here is we're kind of just adding these, we're making these dyads, which is like chords with 2 notes, except for here where that third note comes into the end. But we're using, it's kind of like melody notes. It's not just the minor third or something like that. And here it actually is the third. But then here, that would be technically like a major 7th. Here it's a major 3rd. And then here would actually be the 5th of this chord, right? So it's not always just doing it like very uniform musically. It's just what's going to sound good and kind of creating a melody with those top notes. So for the sound on this one, it's made with operator. This is actually really good for these like kind of dark future garage pads because you can create something with a good texture to it that isn't just like a basic saw wave or a square wave. So this is a bunch of sine waves doing some FM just at different octaves. We also have this auto pan here with the phase on 0, and then it's doing like this half note. So you get like a and if I play that with the drums, you can really hear. It makes it kind of fit into the rhythm of the track a bit better. We've got a bit of reverb, high pass, low pass filter as well, which moves it around throughout the track. You can see it's never in the same place twice, and that really gives this a sense of movement and not just like being static throughout the whole arrangement. And that's it for that pad. Then we have so this is actually another pad playing different chords. It starts on the same chord though, and it goes up to the same root note on the second chord. Then it kind of starts to take some liberties here, but it all fits together really well with that first pad. You can hear when you put these two together, you get a really nice interaction musically. Right on that first chord, when they're the same, they just blend in, and then you're ready for it when it kind of steps out of that a little bit a moment later. This is made with wavetable. It's a square wave with a low pass like that and a bit of an envelope on it. We've got a ton of unison, a bit of echo, and some reverb. You can see the echo has 2 different times in each ear, so you're getting a bit of stereo width. I have a little bit of this saturation with the dry wet turned down a bunch. Low pass filter to bring it in, and again you can see same deals with that last pad, just constantly moving. It's never the exact same place twice. High pass filter. Then we have this lead. So here's the MIDI for the lead. You can see, so what we're doing is it's just like, we're kind of playing with the 5th actually, since we are in B minor technically, right? We're down here on the 5th, but we're treating it like it's the root note and doing this thing where it's then playing this D to C sharp, so minor 3rd to 9th, and then technically that would walk back down to B there. But it doesn't. Right, and this creates like, it's very in key with the bass line, very in key musically, obviously because that is the 5th, so it's always going to fit really well, but it creates like something, almost like tension, when you're hearing one thing be the B there, and then one thing be this F sharp. For the sound on this one, it's made with operator, it's a pretty simple FM sound. What's happening here though is, so it's just 2 sine waves, right? Detuned a little bit, doing FM. Second one's an octave down. But then we have this LFO on the volume of oscillator B. So that's moving that around. And you're getting this like morphing texture. Right? You can hear that. And then after this, we have this gate. So that's doing that. And then the gate. So it's like you have this one slow movement with the LFO, and then this one very fast movement with the gate. And the way this works is you sidechain this. Basically, we have this operator here playing white noise with the pattern. Right? And then you sidechain this gate to that. You want to turn the floor, by default it's set like this. You want to turn the floor and the return all the way down. Set the threshold. And there you go. You can make this really cool gated lead. You can have the synth moving underneath the gate and get all these really cool sounds. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how Fred again does those leads, where it'll be like that. You know, he'll have this thing where it's moving and morphing, but it still has that like trance gate on it. And yeah, that's how you do it. We got a bit of delay, a bit of reverb after that, high pass, and then a low pass, which brings this in and out. And then the last synth we have here is this third pad. Now, this pad is really kind of all on its own here. It's meant to play kind of like a chord melody, so to speak, where it's not exactly the same chord progression as like that main progression, but all the notes are, of course, in that same B minor key, and it's going to fit very well over top of that, but it's kind of meant to be like something new, right? Like if you look at this, we have this first pad over here, which is all through the beginning and into the middle, and then you don't hear it again. And then right as soon as that stops, this one starts coming in. And this one, you don't even hear this until you're already 2.5 minutes into the track. Right, so it allows you to keep the arrangement very fresh and exciting, and have something new come in like part of the way into the track. Now, for the actual sound on this one, it's made in analog. It's 2 saw waves. One is an octave down. We've got a low-pass filter with a little tiny bit of key tracking, a pretty good amount of LFO, just moving it around as well. We've got an amp envelope set like that. The vibrato and unison are on. I've got a bit of chorus, some reverb, high pass, and then a low-pass filter to kind of bring it in and make it disappear at the end. You can hear that working together with this pad to kind of create like one thing. And then we have the vocals. So see, I have these 5 different vocals here. It's all different samples. Some play pretty frequently. Some, as you can see, there's a ton of space and you don't get them that much in the track. I think that's how you want to have it, right? You want to have like some that are kind of like just in the background and some that are more in your face. We'll talk more about that in a moment too. But yeah, I would say these are like really simple in terms of processing. There's not any kind of magic there. It's really just finding samples that already have the magic. I mean, it's really just a bit of delay and reverb and like a high pass filter on each of these. That's literally it, right? And then just again, they fit really well musically. It's really that, like sample selection more than anything. We also have these vocals. Which is like just a bunch of different little vocal samples that I found here, and I put them into this drum rack, and you can see there's a ton of space in between them, but it's just like hitting every now and then with a new vocal sample, with a bunch of delay and reverb, and there's a low pass filter which moves up and then down at the end of the track too, plus a high pass. And you can hear that. It's just giving you like some background sounds. And then the last thing for that is we have these little like vocal washes here. If you play those with the pads, you can hear. So these are just like these little like kind of like reverse effects. And you can see I just have them playing like, you know, not every single second, but it's just kind of washing and coming in and out of the background of the track, and it gives you something that's not so in your face, that's still adding to the harmonic composition and making the whole thing feel really full and also fresh as these come in and out. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full track template, literally fully arranged track is all the samples, MIDI, presets, and the Ableton file. It's all available at the top of the description on my website. This is the best Future Garage template on the market. It's a full track. You can go in and make your own tracks out of this. You can learn from it. You can do almost anything with this. I promise it'll help you get where you've been trying to get. Get this today. You'll make the best music of your life. It's a no-brainer. Link is at the top of the description. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Every little bit helps. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.